welcome back to another segment of Do More Art. My name is Bailey and I'm here to show you another fun, easy at-home project that you all can do. So the title of it is Raised Salt Paintings, and it's almost exactly like it sounds. So the supply list. You're gonna need some salt, of course, salt raised painting, some school glue, and what I mean by that is something that is like this, not a glue stick or hot glue, that won't work, so it needs to be school glue. Thick paper, so not printer paper, it needs to be something like cardstock, which is what I'll be using today, or you can use construction paper, that will work just as well. A brush, because you're going to be painting, and then for the coloring part, you can use one of three things. You can use watercolors if you have those, paint, but if you use paint, it needs to be watered down paint. So make sure that you add water to it, or some food coloring, which I've had a little trouble with food coloring. It's a little harder to control with this project, but if that's all you have, it will definitely work. And then a tray or a plate, something with a lift to help contain the mess of the project. So before we get started, I actually have my trusty sidekick Leo here, and he is here to help us come up with an idea for this project. So I'm gonna go through like I did the last time and just name some things, that way you all can have ideas at home and then we can choose an idea together. So first one is a pineapple and a kite. Let's see, dig. What is that? A house, your house, and TV. So that doesn't have to be a TV, that could be like your favorite thing on TV, your favorite character. And last one, and we'll probably do it, something from outer space. That sounds fun, let's do it. So as always, make sure that you have all the supplies that you see here. A piece of paper that is pretty thick, construction paper will work. I'm gonna be using cardstock. You're gonna need salt and some glue. Remember, it needs to be school glue, not like a glue stick or something like that. I'm gonna be using watered down paint, so this is my watered down paint. And then I have a brush, and last thing is a tray. I'm just using a half sheet, so I'm using a plate, but a cookie sheet or anything that has a lift will work just fine to help contain the mess. To start, we are gonna thank Leo first for giving us an awesome idea, something from outer space. So thank you, Leo. There's so much in outer space, but I think I'm gonna do just a planet. So you can follow along and do a planet with me, or you can make your own thing. So first things first, for my planet, I'm gonna make a circle as best I can. You wanna make sure, so see how that kind of faded away right there. You want to go back over it and make sure that you have enough glue on the paper so that your salt can stick to it. There's half a circle. So I accidentally put too much glue on that side over there, so I'm doubling up around to kind of even it out. But one thing to keep in mind as you're doing this, wherever you put glue is where your artwork is going to be, and that is where the color will be. So just be aware of that. Now I'm going to be making a ring. I guess you can tell what planet this might be. Do some more. Then I think I'm going to add some stars because it's outer space. And we always like a nice pretty background, don't we? Okay, so I have finished my drawing, my glue drawing. I have made Saturn, and I even put in a little bit of design within the planet itself instead of just a circle. That way I can add more color to it. This color is so much fun. Next step, you're gonna move your paper onto your tray or plate that you're gonna be using to help contain the mess. And then you're gonna grab your salt. And if you've ever used glitter before, it's essentially the exact same process. You just sprinkle some. You don't need a lot of salt, so don't just, dump the whole canister on there, but do get enough to cover every part of the glue. And then if you don't know, it helps to shake it around. And then also, if you do more projects, you want to reuse the salt that falls into the bottom of your tray, because we don't like to be wasteful. Alrighty, so it looks like all of the glue is covered up with salt in some way, shape, or another. Now is the fun part. You are going to take your brush or your eyedropper, whatever you are using, and you're gonna select a color. I think I'm gonna start with purple for my planet. And then you wanna make sure that there's enough on the brush. You don't need a lot. It's kind of an experiment with this project, a hit or miss. You kind of have to just play around and find that happy medium, because you don't want a lot of water because it will bleed onto the page and get the page all wrinkly, and that's not fun. But you also don't want too little, or otherwise it won't spread. So you see how it just kind of spread into the salt. So take some time and color in your salt art. Another cool thing you can do with this though is blend colors. So like this blue, I can set it right there, and it will slowly bleed into that purple. Sometimes you have to forcibly blend the colors because it doesn't like to spread as easily. It just, like I said, it's a very experimental project. I'm gonna go through and finish this up, and I'll catch you all at the end. So here I am about a little ways into my project. One thing I forgot to mention though is that you could tell on my planet that I have the actual planet itself, and then I have rings that go around it. And personally, I would want my rings to be a different color than my planet. And so you have to kind of be aware of where your lines intersect, and if you don't want a color bleeding into that, then don't have as much water on it, and just take a little bit and kind of slowly fill it in. That way it doesn't bleed as much. But it's also kind of cool when the colors do mix together. There are some other ones that I made that I will actually just go ahead and show you. Here is a kite one that I made, and you can see I had green bows, but it kind of blended into the yellow rope that I had, but I think it looks okay. And the blue also kind of seeped into that yellow as well, but I really kind of like that tie-dye effect. I think it's really cool. Here is another one that I made. Do more art, yay! But that has a rainbow effect to it. And you can tell here on the E, that's what I was talking about earlier. If you use too much water, it kind of bleeds into the paper. That one's not as bad, but you do just want to look out for that and be careful. So I'm gonna keep working now, and I'll catch up with y'all. Okay, I think it is finished. And actually, as I was doing this, I thought about it. I told you all that you can use construction paper for this project, and it probably would have been really cool if I used a black piece of paper for something from outer space. And that is a raised salt painting. I hope you all had fun with that project. One thing I did forget to mention though, and you might have figured it out as you were working on the project, I was using paint and water. So sometimes the colors weren't as vibrant as I wanted them to be. So that's a simple fix. You just add a little bit more paint. And if it was too bright and you wanted more of like a pastel, softer color, then you just add more water. You can also do the same thing with watercolors. Food coloring is a little difficult with that, but experiment and have fun with it. Until next time, I can't wait to see you all again and do more art.